I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we have the minutes from our June 6th meeting.
I'll move that we approve the minutes from the Selectboard's June 6th meeting.
A second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have warrants 26, 26P, and number 15 from the Conservation Commission. We also have a request from the listers to purchase a refurbished laptop. And that's not in the regular warrants, but what would you like to do?
I'll move that we approve warrants 26, 26P, and Conservation Commission number 15.
Okay.
I can second that.
All right, any discussion? Okay, the total for warrant 26 is $49,314.05. That included some tree removal work on East-West Road, some removing some ledge, also on East-West Road, I think. Our rescue, monthly rescue payment, the HRA contribution. We had about $12,000 going to gravel between Carpenter Pit and Renault. We have $12,064 going to the Windham County, what we call the Windham County tax, which goes to support the Superior Court building and parts of the Sheriff's Department. Health insurance, fuel, Lydia Taft-Pratt library payment, and repairs to machinery at the Highway Department. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I guess we're done with that. So now's the time of our public comment section, and we have someone from the
visitor.
public here today. So,
Hello, public.
Hi, I'm Kean Orrs. I purchased Maple Valley.
Great,
Now,
yeah.
come up to the,
Come right up to the
Oh.
table.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't have a.
How do you spell your first name?
First name is Keane.
Okay. And how do you pronounce it?
It's like Ian with a K
Okay.
Kean.
Kean.
or key in the door. Also works.
Kean. Okay. Great.
Yeah, had a lot of practice with that one over the years.
I bet you do.
Last name is Aures, and it's pronounced like oars on a boat.
Oars.
Yeah.
Kean Oars.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Great.
And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm Geraldine Wilson, Dummerston resident on the Select Board.
Okay.
I'm Rachel Glickman. I'm the newest member of the Select Board. Just been
Okay.
on it since March.
Maria Glayback, I'm on the select board.
Yeah, and I'm Zeke Goodband.
Nice to meet you.
And we're missing Hugh Warden.
Okay.
May come late, stuck in
Stuck
traffic.
in traffic.
I was stuck in traffic.
On 91?
91 is closed from Hatley to Deerfield.
Do you know why?
Road construction, I think.
Mm.
But they've got it.
Actually closed, so you have to go on Route 5?
You're on Route 5 the
Oh,
whole
wow.
time, staring at the back of the tractor
Okay.
trailer, if you're me,
Oh boy.
for about 2 hours.
Oh
So, could be a while before
Yeah.
he gets here.
Okay.
So did you just want to come and meet us, or
So,
did you have
yeah,
any
I was-
information to share?
I was really hoping to come
Yeah.
and meet you guys and introduce myself.
Mhm.
I just wanted to put a face to your names and let you put a face to my name. And if it's okay, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what I'd like to do there. But
yeah, we're
I
interested.
wasn't sure if that was allowed.
We
or-
weren't sure if we were allowed to ask, so I'm
Oh,
glad that you're
okay.
offering.
But we've certainly been asked by
Yes, many
residents, so we're,
You know, it's there's been a little more interest in it than I thought there would be. I started getting calls from reporters and different people, and I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, okay.
people are
Great.
paying attention.
Yes, and I just, it's been, every time I've driven by the property, it's just been kind of vacant and run down, so I didn't know if anybody really cared about it. So it's nice to see that people actually do care about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's cut to the chase here. Let me tell you
Yeah.
what the in a very basic sense, the plan is to have a small, energy efficient, sustainable farm there that grows certain products for a craft brewery, craft distillery, and then a vineyard and winery down by the river. And then hopefully that will generate enough income to invest back into the mountain to open it as a ski mountain. As a standalone ski mountain in its current condition, it's not a viable ski mountain. Most of the property has been let go, is in quite a bit of disrepair, from the lifts to the outbuildings to the infrastructure. The one thing that is in good condition is the lodge, and that is usable and salvageable. But the lifts will never get permitted like they are now, is my understanding, and they could have been grandfathered in if they had been serviced and run on a regular basis, but they weren't, and so you'll never get them permitted again. So it's going to need new lifts and new. A lot has been broken or stolen, or.
I'm glad the building is usable.
The actual main lodge is in pretty good shape. The other outbuildings, the roofs are collapsing. They need to be fixed and repaired or torn down, scrapped. But the lodge itself is actually in pretty good condition.
And so what would your initial plan for the lodge be, given the farming activity?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
How would you use the lodge in the first phase of what you're going to do on that property?
The lodge would be the brewery and the distillery.
Okay.
And then kind of the grounds around it would be vineyards and some of the products necessary to make whiskey and beer. So there's a couple of things I'd like to grow there. Corn, wheat, barley, not on a large scale, but on a smaller scale. And then there is a old apple orchard up on the property that has been let go that I'd love to bring back. They actually logged past the apple orchard, and I'm not sure what they took out of there, but it's basically cleared to be replanted. So I would like to make that back into an apple orchard. There's still some apple trees there, but it's very overgrown. So
Wow, that's exciting.
a lot of work
Yeah.
to do.
This is your
So-
apple guy right here.
That's what I heard. I heard he knows everything about apples.
Do you have a basic timeline, or is that still yet to be determined?
Still yet to be determined. Working with a local engineer in Brattleboro, and trying to get. I have an architect on board, and trying to use another one in Brattleboro that has done these kind of projects before. So I'm hoping that next summer, fall, we could have something up and running and going there.
Okay.
But it's a long,
Right.
drawn out process for the federal permitting and then the state permitting, and there's just a lot of moving pieces. So I've been told that is ambitious, but
Okay.
it's what I would like to do.
Okay.
So
And do you imagine being here and being involved in that, or do you so you live in Connecticut?
yes,
And
Yes.
and so will you be commuting? Like, how much will you be here and on a daily basis, or are you going to be hiring people and
I'll be here all the time.
you'll be here all the time?
Yeah.
Living in the lodge.
Not exactly living in the lodge. I currently live in Connecticut, and I am actually moving to Massachusetts a week from yesterday. So that is
Closer.
coming right up.
Yeah.
And then I will be commuting from there to here. So I still have a law practice, and I'm
Yeah, I wanted to ask you,
still an
so-
attorney.
What's your previous?
So I have been dialing that down a little bit as
Mhm.
I have been working on this
Mhm.
project quite a bit, and I think my firm and I have reached an agreement where I can work for them for basically my clients and what I do,
Mhm.
and not take on a lot of extraneous stuff. So
Good if you're going into farming to have a actual source of income.
yes,
You know.
yes, I've yes.
Yeah.
So
And so, in terms of in this first phase, how many employees are you imagining, or how many people
I'm not-
working?
anywhere near
Okay.
those kind
Uh-huh.
of numbers to give you yet, and I couldn't even for at least the first year, none, because there's nothing to sell, there's nothing to do.
No, but farming takes effort. I mean,
Oh yeah.
wouldn't you have people farming, creating your wheat and corn and barley fields?
There's gonna have to be some land cleared for that, and
Mhm.
it's gonna take
Time.
a while before there's any place to actually do that yet.
Okay.
So it's not it's not something that I
Okay.
can tell you right now. I'm sorry.
No. You don't need to be sorry. It's just
This is the biggest thing to happen in this town in a while.
yeah.
Oh, good.
So this will be in the newspaper, I'm sure.
Great.
Again, yeah.
It's awesome that you describe it as energy efficient, sustainable. That those are your goals.
There's a lot of places that are doing this. I was up at a distillery in Middlebury, and they have all the solar panels right out front there. So depending on what we're allowed to do, we're thinking solar, possible, small windmill or two at the top of the mountain, and then geothermal for the lodge, because apparently there's some new cheaper ways to do geothermal. And I've been speaking with my engineer. He said we might be able to go horizontally into the mountain instead of drilling down to really reduce costs for geothermal, which would be great. So that's just some of what we're going to try to do there. Depends on what we're allowed to do and what geothermal. If we can't get the cheaper model, that'll be difficult to do just on an expense basis. But solar panels are fairly easy to put in, and it's just, can you generate enough electricity to run solely off of that, or do you have to use kind of both, kind of a mixed grid solar?
But we have an energy committee in the town that
Yeah.
could certainly help
Oh,
advise
great.
on that kind of thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then obviously being that close to the river, we want to keep it as sustainable and environmentally friendly as possible, because I have no idea what the condition of that river is, but I don't want it any worse on my account. So that's going to be a real focus, is making sure we have enough setback with the vineyards there, so that we're not getting soil erosion into the river, and that we can make sure that is kind of not going to be an issue.
Yeah, there's some pretty robust water quality standards that are set statewide that I'm sure would mitigate and direct whatever decisions you make about.
Do a lot of reading.
Yeah, exactly. There's a
Seems
lot
like
to
there
read
is some
on that.
regulation.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's my basic
Great.
idea
Thanks
and
for
what I would
sharing
like to do there. So I have actually been holding off doing certain things because I wanted to know if that was something the town would support, if that kind of project is something you would be interested in having there. So.
Is that like a development review board kind of question, or how does that work?
Yeah. Right. I think you'll find working with, you've met our zoning administrator.
I have.
And our development review board. They are the ones who will take care of conditional use permits, and they sort of are the Supreme Court as far as implementing and interpreting the town's bylaws. But they're quite a let's see. I think they're quite a good group of townspeople that you'll find will be easy to work with, I believe.
Okay.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it also just comes to mind because we had a visit last meeting from the people who run the Whetstone Brewery,
Yeah.
who also have kind of like a satellite location in Dummerston as well. So they might be a good connection for you.
I read some of the minutes and I saw that they were
Yeah.
doing catering or something at
Well, they
an
have
event
a
or-
couple events at their location, and they have a campground in Dummerston on Route 5.
Oh, okay, that's
It's kind of
what
like
it
a little
was,
satellite
Yeah.
to their main brewery downhill Brattleboro, but they've worked with the Development Review Board, and they, you know, are doing, it's not exactly the same, but there's some parallels there, so they might be useful people. Dave Heiler's the owner of that place. He might be useful to talk to.
And is the Hermit Thrush
Mm-hmm.
building, the Leader Beverage building
Yes,
where they
that's
are
in
now? That's in
Dummerston,
Dummerston
yes.
also.
Yeah, we're
So-
becoming an epicenter, aren't
Right.
we? An epicenter for the
Have
brew
you-
pub.
Have you looked up Hermit Thrush?
So I know Hermit Thrush prides themselves on the most expensive sour beers in the country. That's their thing.
Well, I don't know if they would use most expensive, but I mean, they don't have they just have a tasting room, you know.
It's right on the corner in Brattleboro.
Yeah, right.
But they also have a
Right.
distribution, which is on Route 5, also in Dummerston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they would be maybe a good people to talk to as well.
There's a small distillery, which is not a production facility, but I think it's in Brattleboro. It's
There's
Sin-
the
Professional
Saxon's River.
Saxon River,
Brewery
and I
or distillery.
and I think
Yeah.
that's on the Brattleboro.
Yeah, that's on
Mhm.
Route
Side,
30 on the
okay.
Brattleboro side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
But
I
yeah.
think there used to be a couple
Yeah.
distilleries in people's basements.
Nobody knows anything about that.
I don't know if that's still going.
So, what about neighbors to the property? Have you chatted with anybody or met anybody in terms of, people whose land is contiguous with the?
I have not.
Mhm.
I haven't told anybody anything about anything because I wanted to come talk to you guys 1st.
Mhm.
All the reporters that called, I was like, no, I can't say anything. So,
Oh, I'm honored that you came here first.
No, I really wanted to
Now
approach you
we're-
guys first. I didn't want to,
Yeah.
talk to a reporter and have some story out there like I'm doing this, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you guys not
Yeah.
want
Well.
that in your town. So I thought I would come and talk to you,
You know,
first.
we like to think we're very important and things we get done without us, but actually,
Yeah.
It's very
far as
important. Look at how many people on
development
that side of the table.
goes, we, it's the Development Review Board and the zoning and the Planning Commission. Those will be the ones that you
Yeah.
will really
Yeah.
you'll be working with as,
Yeah.
as you get these
So-
plans going.
What can we say though, Zeke, in terms of, what Kian's asking is, will what we know as the town be supportive of this kind of endeavor?
Right.
Well, I think the key, and again, I go back to the Whetstone example, is I know that when they bought that property and they wanted to do some new things that hadn't been done there before, one of the first steps was talking to the people who abutted the property
Sure.
and making sure, that they are all comfortable with it.
I've done my homework.
Yeah.
No night skiing.
Yeah, because I know that was the issue in the past.
Oh,
with
we
previous
love the
owners.
night skiing.
That was the big problem.
Oh, no,
But I didn't live next door.
They had, lighting that they had
Was problematic.
It's falling down all over the mountain.
style.
I gotta,
people have a different sense of lighting now, so
to
they were.
rip all of that out. It's-
I mean, I have to say in terms of I'd like to get back to the question I asked, but I also want to say that I think the skiing part of it, when I think about winters here and actually making a business of skiing at Maple Valley, the weather is such that we're not getting that many days of skiing here in Dummerston.
From everything I've read and everything I've looked into, Maple Valley is not a viable standalone ski mountain. You
Yeah.
cannot run a profitable business there as a ski mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that with these other activities going on and making it a great place for people to come and spend a day and, enjoy a craft beer or try, artisan whiskey or, spend a little time in the vineyard, that it's going to be a place that they want to come to and ski, even if it's not the greatest ski place in the world. Even if, it's going to have to be on a limited basis because of the climate there. There's from everything I've read and I've talked to some of the previous owners, not the Mercedes gentleman, I never heard back from them, but Norm Gavin used to own it.
Oh, really?
And I spoke with him a couple of times. There's a microclimate there from the river that makes it particularly difficult to make snow and keep snow. And there's also some kind of inversion that comes over the mountain that brings a warm air with it, which also makes it very hard to make snow and keep snow.
So you're not.
I have no illusions that it's going to be the next,
Yeah.
Mount Snow or Stratton or
Right.
Great Vermont Ski Mountain.
Right.
But if there was a lift to the top
Uh-huh.
and people wanted to come and do a few runs and then have a craft beer,
Yeah.
I think that would be
Yeah.
a great thing.
I think about Grafton Ponds, which is a cross-country ski place, and they do a pretty good job of, making it through the winter, and they make their own snow and groom their trails, but I know it's well supported, subsidized.
Is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Different word.
yeah, it's highly subsidized.
Yeah.
But anyway, they would be people that would be interesting to talk with
Yeah,
in terms
and then
of climate.
even more locally, our Brattleboro, in Brattleboro, the town rec runs a little ski hill at the.
Read about that.
Yeah, and so that would probably be the most comparable in terms
And
of.
the outing center, yes. That,
Yeah, but I mean for downhill,
Mhm.
you know, that kind of setup, they would probably give you a pretty good idea about what they had to do to keep that place going.
So it's definitely, I mean, for skiing
Yeah.
you need snow, and it's
Yeah.
a snow issue there.
Yeah.
When big storm came through this winter in February maybe, dumped 3.5 feet up at Mount Snow. I came here and
Oh.
snowshoed to the top and skied down, and it was, there was maybe a foot.
Uh-huh.
It's just not the same
Yeah.
Oh.
amount of snow.
Interesting.
It was interesting skiing, I gotta be honest with you,
Mhm.
because those trails are not cleared.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Challenging.
So it's just not a place that is going to get the same amount of snow as the Route 100 ski mountains.
Right.
And I'm sure there's a million different
Mhm.
geological and climate related reasons for that, but the snow is what it is. So I think with this plan, we can turn this into a great place for people to come and spend a day and enjoy themselves, and then hopefully generate enough income to open the ski mountain on a limited basis. But that is a much that is phase 3, much further down the road. I'm thinking, brewery and distillery in about a year, maybe a little more. 3 to 5 years out for the winery portion of it, and then maybe 8 to 10 years for the skiing, if at all possible.
Mhm.
So I think realistic expectations on that are
Mhm. Yeah.
Good.
yeah,
Great. Well,
what-
it's
what I
an
need to-
exciting
Yeah.
project that you're getting going on.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about it. I love being up here. My aunt and uncle live just over Hogback Mountain, so I come up here quite a bit. And every time I drove up to Stratton, I would see Maple Valley sitting there, just
Waiting.
doing nothing.
Waiting for something.
It's like,
Waiting
how
for
come nobody's
you to show
bought
up.
this place? How come
Yeah.
nobody's done anything here?
Well, many people have asked that question for many years.
Well, and I think we
Yeah.
probably don't know the number of people who have thought about it. I mean, I happen to know somebody that put together a business plan, and he spent a lot of time, figuring out, and then he made another choice in his life,
Yeah.
So who knows how many people have kind of pondered and even sort of imagined.
I've been
Well, it could be.
contacted by a lot of people with amazing plans that they've drawn up to
Oh,
have
really?
the ski mountain up and running, and I'm interested in talking to them and hearing what they have to
Uh-huh.
say. But I'm hoping that with this project, it's going to be a place where people want to come regardless, and then can maybe do some skiing there
Well, there's a strong nostalgia factor for this, the skiing that people remember there, I think.
Everyone
Yeah.
I've talked to at length was like, "Oh my gosh, I skied there when I was a kid. I love that
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
That's where I learned to ski." You know,
Yeah.
it's been really surprising the connection people have with the mountain. A little bit sad that it's been closed
Mhm.
for that long, but I know as a ski mountain by itself, people have had a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Keep it
So,
open.
are there any things that we think that Kian should know or that we would share with him relative to, what he's described with us and people's responses to it in the town? I mean, in terms of where is Dummerston in terms of commercial endeavors and bringing tourists in? Obviously, this is not a local restaurant and pub for the locals. It's really bringing tourism into Dummerston.
I would say both. I'd say
Okay.
it's definitely, it's your mountain. You guys have grown up with it. It's been here forever. So it's not just a bunch of tourists from Connecticut. It's I want it to be
Yeah.
a place where people have community pride.
You
in
have
it.
a menu for Vermonters that's a different price than Connecticut, New York.
Well, I think it's always important to have a local special.
Yeah.
I think that's just a
I
must.
mean, I'm joking, but that is the big.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. In Dummerston, there is no place to hang out.
Yeah.
There is no place to gather.
Right.
It's not like Putney or, there are other local towns where there are gathering places.
Social
And there really
centers, yeah.
is no place in Dummerston to gather.
That's why
there
our-
are events.
That's why our Grange suppers are so well attended.
Yeah.
Because that's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we gave you some ideas of other, people to talk to. I would definitely say the neighbors would be a great. Next
I'd
step.
love to go. I wanted
Yeah.
to go talk to
Yeah.
all of them, but I really wanted to come talk to you
Yeah,
guys
so
first.
that would probably be a
I
great
have
next step.
driven up and down Sugar House Road a couple of
Mhm.
times.
Good.
That's
And I bet that once this is televised, then there'll be reporters writing it up, and then you'll get a
Sure.
lot more
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
contacting you and asking questions.
it's actually going to go on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, you're being filmed
Yes,
right now?
yes, actually it goes
Good.
around,
It's not live.
around the world. That's
Excellent.
yeah.
Because all the select board meetings are televised on BCTV, the
Okay.
local access.
So you can watch the back of your head, probably.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting as the select board to speak as the select board in our responsibility as select board people, but speaking as a resident of Dummerston, I'm very excited.
Oh,
So,
great. Well, good.
I think people are just happy to see something happen with that
Yeah,
place that's been, as you mentioned before, just kind of deteriorating for a long time.
So we're doing the feasibility study right now, and it's now time to bring in the architects for the design on the buildings. And before I did that, I wanted to talk to you. So it sounds like this isn't you guys haven't put the rubber stamp of disapproved on this. So
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm gonna I have a business plan, and I have some preliminary drawings and renderings, and so we'll move forward, and I'll approach you guys with a very specific, more detailed plan that you can review, and I guess that's something that I'll need to bring to the development review board as well,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it really comes to us.
No.
I mean, in terms of understanding the process of the
Right.
town, Roger is the one that can guide you through the formal process.
Okay.
We're thrilled that you came to us and introduced yourself and shared what your ideas are.
Well,
People are curious.
so I've heard.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Well,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome to stay if
Can
you'd
I
like.
stay
Yeah.
for some of the rest of the
Please do.
meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're having a public hearing in 30 minutes, right?
Not on this, right?
No,
No, no,
no,
no.
something
No.
totally unrelated.
But that's also, you don't have to stay.
Yeah. Don't.
we won't feel slighted.
You have the agenda now.
It
so
took
you
me
know
4 hours to get up here, I'm saying, all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you're welcome to go back to those seats.
Okay, all right.
Back to the
Well,
grant.
well, thank you very much. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
your
very
time.
much for coming. And
Yeah.
good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Plans.
How do, can we contact you somehow, Kian, or can we be in touch somehow?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, I'll get his contact.
I would love to give you my contact information, but not for public television.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Lee is not here. Is he coming?
No.
Okay.
All we have for our road foreman's report is a curb cut on Spalding Hill Road. Lee has reviewed this. There are no wetlands. They have to install a culvert. And Lee's given it his blessing. It's just past Emery Hill Drive and belongs to the Lashua Scott.
Okay.
And looks like we need an 18-inch culvert.
Okay.
So
So he didn't see any problem with it?
he didn't see any problem.
And I know Hugh has reviewed it also.
Yeah, okay. So what would you like to do?
I'll make a motion that we approve the curb cut for Spalding Hill Road.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, okay, we've done that. And is there anything under correspondence for information that you'd like to discuss?
Oh, yes, we got some exciting news.
Okay.
The West Dummerston received, their application was approved for the village sanitation project. So they're gonna be involved in the feasibility study for that. So
Yes.
the
there were-
viewers who watched earlier, months ago when we
Yeah.
had that public meeting,
Yeah, and it was a competition.
yeah, it was a
Yes, so
competition,
there were
so.
So, yeah, it wasn't so much that their application got approved as their
Accepted,
application
yeah.
was, won the competition.
Yeah,
Yes, so, yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what happens and
yeah,
follows. I think the information they get will be useful. It's a voluntary project there for residents, but I think the information that they get will be useful to all and helpful to all the residents there. So that was good news. Anything else you'd like to discuss there?
Is anybody going to the open meeting law compliance training on 627 in Townsend?
Yes, I'm planning on going there.
Okay.
and I was looking into going to a later one in another part of the state. Because I
Okay,
can't go that day.
all right.
And the town planning training, maybe somebody from the planning commission is going, right?
Not that I've heard, because this came in after our meeting.
Oh, right, and that's actually tomorrow, 6:20.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's a BCA training on elections on July 9th in Brattleboro.
That's also being held in different locations around the state on other dates.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And Lori was going to this one.
Lori.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to it also, but we'll see. See if I get, I don't have any better offers right now, so, you know,
Your file of certificates must be quite.
that's looking good. Well, okay, anything else there? All right, correspondence for action and discussion. I've got to the information on that website for the Building Communities Grant announcement. So I was able to write this down. It's spent some time in the back pocket for a while. But it didn't seem like it was going to work for us. They were looking for projects with capital costs associated with major maintenance, renovation, or planning related to the development of facilities, reasonably expected to create job opportunities in Vermont communities, and they are looking to give up to $25,000 in a dollar-to-dollar match. their projects should be shovel ready. So it's not something that we could, just start thinking about what we could do here. They're looking for, projects that are ready to go, and this is not for planning or conceptualizing a project, and it's not to be considered seed money.
And it's for specific kinds of projects?
Yes, that would, it's rather vague, build community, so I could see if you were...
A private project? I mean, it sounds like it might fit with
Yeah,
legal
I
guys.
don't know if it was more
Or is it
municipal.
municipal?
Yeah, so
Okay.
maybe if you're working on a new library
I get
in
it.
town or something like
Community
that.
center, something
Yeah.
like that.
That was what my sense was.
Okay.
But I didn't think I think they do this every year. And so at some point, if we have projects that's gone beyond the conceptualizing and is ready to go, and we're looking for some...
Yeah. Someone asked me recently, so would this have to do with the community center or the Grange, or if there was some project with those?
Possibly, if the
Buildings.
Grange if the Grange had money to match this.
Right.
That's the
I wonder,
other,
is it not school related though? That would be a separate.
I think it's separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I brought that up because there's discussions about a public preschool. But
Mm.
Right.
it must be a separate pot of money for that.
So someone in the community asked me recently about security systems for the Grange and the church and the Historical Society.
Uh-huh.
There was the fire at the church and like what systems are in place and are there some efficiencies in the buildings in Dummerston Center working together to purchase a more secure system for fire alarms and break-ins or things like that? I don't know.
I don't know either. But I think the deadline for this is coming fairly soon. So this might be something, if that was something they were interested in, the church, the Grange, or the municipal building working together. And possibly, this could possibly be a source of some money for next year. So
Okay.
it's something we should keep in
Okay.
our...
Do you know the deadline? Is it like in the next month?
Yeah,
Are we talking?
yes.
Okay.
And so if someone has something in mind that they're working on, this might be a source of some funding for the matching funds for them, but we should just sort of keep this in the back of our mind and something might come up that this would be appropriate for, or that we can refer people to.
So it's for more than just the municipalities, because the church and the Grange are
Yeah.
their own entities.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah.
And it seemed like there was at least part of it was a job creation element.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would get you high marks in this grant. I guess it's a competitive
Right.
grant.
Right.
So that's all the information I have on that.
Okay. So if people wanted to know more, they could just look it up. Building Communities Grant.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. And if people want more information, if they get in touch with us, we can give them the link or send them the link. Ready to move on? Under new business, we've got to decide what to do with our July 4th meeting. We'll have to at least pay...
We're looking at the calendar if you're wondering.
Yeah.
We're all staring at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right behind your head.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. And you're going to be away, on.
I'm not gonna be away, but all of a sudden there was a big family gathering planned at my place. So
Okay.
it's
We'll
not
come to
appropriate
you.
for me to
We'll
be
set up
leaving.
PCTV in your yard.
Yeah, right.
I'm around.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have to set the tax rate? So,
Yes, the tax
but-
rate.
So is that later in the week, or can we do that?
Oh, can we do
I
it all?
think we've got to sign the warrants for the payroll earlier in the week. We have a liquor catering license and a few other odds and ends that we need to deal with. And then Lori is saying by, can you move your head? The 6th. The 6th. I think that's the last I need the calendar. On the 6th, she'd be ready with the tax rate information.
Okay.
You know, and that's a 15-minute
Mhm.
meeting.
So we possibly have to meet twice that week?
Oh, well, we could do,
Combine?
let me run this past you. You could authorize me to come in and sign the payroll.
Mhm.
We could meet then, sort of our regular meeting later in the week,
Mhm.
where we set the tax rate and deal with any of the liquor,
Mhm.
catering licenses, or newsletters from VLCT, or other things that we,
Mhm.
Later that week.
yeah.
Well,
on-
later,
on Friday.
well, Friday I will be out of
And
town.
I will be too.
Bummer.
How about Thursday?
I could do it earlier in the day.
But Lori won't have it ready till Friday.
Let me run it past her and
Okay.
see if she might have it ready by Thursday. And if not, you know, Hugh is our, you know, because we could do it with 3 people.
Yeah, you can do it with 3, as long as you have 3 people.
I did check with VLCT to see, well, could we just authorize someone to, you know, look at the tax rate and say, well, we usually, historically, we say, well, let's give a buffer of about $1,200. And that's the tax rate we usually choose. And so I just asked, can we authorize someone to do that and then ratify it at our next meeting? But they said, no, that would be a slippery slope to get.
And so even if you had 3 people for July 4th, you still need something later in the week
Yeah.
for the tax rate.
Tax rate.
Okay.
That's really unfortunate. Tom.
It is.
Yes, it
No,
is.
It requires like 3 meetings one week, or 2 at least.
2.
Yeah.
At least.
We can't meet in the middle and just do it all on one day. Well, let me know.
Okay, so
So you could avoid a meeting on the 4th altogether if we authorized you to sign the warrants.
yes,
So why don't we just go ahead and do that? I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't
Yeah.
have to meet on the 4th, it's better to not, I
okay,
would think.
Well, it sounds like there's no point in meeting on the 4th because we can't do the tax rate and
No.
you could do the warrants ahead anyway, so.
right, they might want the warrants, so Charlotte can have payroll checks. So probably Tuesday would be when she'd want to do that.
And the 4th, so we'd be doing that now. We would authorize you now at
Yeah.
this meeting.
Sure.
So I move that we authorize Zeke to sign the warrants, well, I need to get this motion right. Sign the warrants the week of July 4th, and the select board will ratify them at the next select board meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Well, let's have a second first.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay.
discussion?
Yes, so my clarifying question is, I thought you had to sign the warrants before the end of the fiscal year.
That's a different deal.
Oh, okay.
Someone has, well,
That's a separate.
yes,
Okay.
and we've dealt with that, so we can get any late bills or that need to be dealt with by the end of the fiscal year.
Okay.
We already authorized you
Yeah.
to do
Okay, so
that.
that's done. Okay,
That's
so
done.
this
That's-
motion is just
history.
about the week of the,
The payroll for the week of
okay.
that July 4th.
So do you want authorization for that week to only do payroll or for all warrants?
Let's do all warrants.
That was my
Okay,
discussion.
any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Zeke.
All right. And then back to our sort of regular meeting and setting the tax rate.
Mhm.
Well, it sounded like you were gonna talk to Lori
Yeah,
about when they would be ready, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Right now, she said, Friday was the best day
Yeah.
for the tax rate.
So just so you know, I'm leaving Thursday afternoon.
Yep.
And I
Okay,
will be
so
gone
it's-
until the 10th.
All right, so how about we wait and check with Hugh
Mm-hmm.
to see if he's around.
Okay.
So it's only the 20th now, so we
Yeah.
have time to figure this out.
Mhm.
But we won't have another meeting to change the date. So how?
Oh, to warn a meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should
Hmm.
can we just go ahead and schedule it
I could.
and then
We're trying to follow the rules.
Yeah. We can schedule. We can have a discussion. We're not in violation of the open meeting law if we are having discussions about scheduling. So we could see what Hugh is
Yeah,
schedule,
that's true.
and
That's right.
then we
Scheduling is
can
okay.
schedule.
Yeah,
Either later tonight we might know, or
yeah.
Okay.
by next week,
Okay.
and then we just need to warn the meeting 48 hours before. But we'll know.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
think long before that. So that's what we could do.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
think that.
you're both leaving on that Friday?
I'm leaving early morning Friday.
Okay,
She's
so
leaving
because we don't
Thursday
have to have a
afternoon.
meeting necessarily at 6 o'clock at night.
Right. I could come earlier in the day on Thursday.
Oh,
And
but
I
not
could
Friday.
probably,
but
yeah,
not
I could,
Friday. I'm gone.
yeah, I think we'll probably be leaving early Friday morning, so.
Okay. So we'll take
Friday
this
doesn't
part
work for me,
offline
but-
because we are okay with open meeting law to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. So, under new business, we have the speed limit. This is for our public hearing, which is going to start. But,
The parking lot's filling up.
yeah, we will have our public hearing, and then we'll recess
Okay.
our regular meeting, have our public hearing at 7, then reconvene and address this
Okay.
speed limit. And this is essentially to adopt the state speed limits on Route 5 and Route 30. And this was done back in 2003, but all records of the actual ordinance have been lost. So we have to redo it.
Okay.
So we're going to take very careful steps
Oh, there he is, thank you.
and not lose it this time. We're going to read it into the minutes. But we'll wait until our public hearing. So
Will you unfinished business then?
we could go on to unfinished business now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna.
Welcome,
let's see,
Hugh.
Welcome, Hugh.
No, it's a good time to
This
come
is great. We've been talking slower and usual. We're just trying to
shut down. Hello, how you doing?
just keep things together until you could get here. And we've reached the point where
Unfinished business.
at our last meeting, we had the Campfire Whetstone people here, and there was the question of what, for special events, what was the process that, and so you
Yes.
looked into that.
Yes,
So
so
you can take it from here.
on that one, First of all, I apologize for being late.
We heard the highway was closed.
Yeah, both north and south. It's unfortunately.
Yeah.
So for the campfires, actually the DRB did a great job. The way they wrote that permit, it limits the a normal gathering to like 280. I can't remember the exact number, but 280 to 290 people. But then the caveat to that was they could come to the select board for approval for additional numbers. So I think that's how we ended up doing that last year for them.
Right.
So it's actually specified in their permit. They come, present it to the select board, tell us how many people they intend to have, and then we then can give them the permission to have that event with that number of people.
Okay.
So it clearly, I think the way he mentioned it, Dave did, and how we did it last year, then I think we could do that. And I think we kind of implied that we were giving them permission to do that, at least for the first one coming up.
Well, we approved the liquor license, which in turn
Mhm.
one could conclude that was
Right.
approving the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
There was some follow-up requested from him.
Yes, they're supposed to be sending us a written confirmation that they're going to have traffic control.
Right.
That's my recollection,
Yeah.
and we've not received that yet.
Okay. It's in the minutes right here.
And were we giving approval just for the first event? There are 3 events, right?
Right. So I think the way I remember we did that, we said we approved the first event and we want them to come back and potentially combine the other 2 or 3 events. 'Cause
Once
they-
we see how the first one goes
Right.
and, yeah.
So I don't have his email, but I can get it and I can follow up with him, I guess, on
With Dave Hyler.
the Dave on the like as far as he's good to go as far as the people. I think he left here feeling that way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
confirm it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
And, yeah,
I've got his email, so I'll forward that to you.
Okay.
and let him know that we're awaiting the written confirmation of the
Traffic.
traffic control.
Okay.
Because there was quite a bit of discussion around pedestrian safety, especially crossing the road, and he was gonna work that out and let us know.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Great. We have our contract renewal for the Windham County Humane Society. And the town pays a flat fee, and it will be the same as last year, $466. And this contract just states what the Windham County Humane Society will do, and what is excluded, what they won't do, and just some of the legal responsibilities for each party in this. And so it looks like the contract that we signed last year. So,
I can make a motion that we approve the contract with the Windham County Humane Society for
Oh.
$466.
I'll second that.
okay, any discussion?
So do you have any concerns about it?
I don't.
Is there any provision in there that you indemnify them?
That we
It's a lawyer speaking.
Maybe we should hold this off and let him read through it. The town will hold harmless and indemnify Windham County Humane Society, its employees, volunteers, and board of directors from any and all claims of injury, accidents, or death of town officers, authorized agents, or animals while on Windham County Humane Society property, or any function sponsored by, in or in conjunction with Windham County Humane Society.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good to you?
No, I'd be careful signing anything that requires you to indemnify anyone else. Or anything.
Take a look at it. You're not on the clock right now, are you?
I'm not, sir.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We've got a motion. We're in the discussion phase. Maybe we can put that on hold and just go.
Table it for a moment.
Table it for a moment.
Mhm.
let's see, Rich Cogliano has let me know that he would be pleased to offer a training for the select board. And also part of the Vermont Alert system where you'd give us information on how we can post on Vermont Alert. So, and his time frame is thinking of about a 2-hour meeting. The thought was maybe doing it on a Wednesday, on one of our off Wednesdays.
Right.
And so he can't do it in June. So we'd be looking at July or August, or if you want to wait until September even.
Now, even with the to be scheduled meeting at the beginning of July, will we still meet on the 18th?
Yeah, we would,
Okay.
our
So
next regular,
it won't affect the other dates?
no, we
Okay.
won't. We'd meet on July 18th and then August 1st.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, only speaking clearly for myself, I don't want to come in on this another Wednesday. So I would either say we just do a long, if we had a short regular meeting and tack that onto it as opposed to adding another night, or push it into the fall, would be my suggestion.
Okay.
What about another evening of the week? Say a Monday
Yeah.
night or,
I could look at that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to relate for
can
that come up
consider
here again.
exactly.
a longer meeting, we could,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would make sense. I mean, if we have a huge agenda, then obviously that wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
but-
Right.
but some of our agenda items some of them are not as time sensitive, and so
Right.
we can
We could,
move things around.
Yeah.
So shall we go for a
Yeah.
regular meeting?
yeah, I agree with
And-
that.
So we
As a
have,
school teacher, I actually prefer to do it in the summer.
as orchard,
Manager.
yes, I prefer the summer too.
Yeah.
But so we have the 18th of July, August 1st. I'm guessing it's August 15th
15th.
or
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Any preference?
Well,
Any would be fine. We could also take this offline because it's scheduling. Now that we've identified that we can do that.
Yes, we could.
yeah, but if we can make a quick decision, be better than a bunch of emails.
We only have 2 minutes before our public hearing begins.
I'm fine with the 18th. The first,
This is when our ratings go down,
I
The
know,
first-
exactly. Like,
the first is
keep it
not,
Let's break. A word from our sponsor. We can do that.
the first doesn't work for me, 1st of August. I'm out of town, so prefer not to do it then. Otherwise, it's the
let's
15th.
try for the 18th.
18th. I'll get in touch and let you know. Okay. You have a clock there?
I do,
What does it say?
6:59.
Well, I think that's pretty close. So, let's have a. Oh, we have
We
a.
did have a
pending.
motion,
Let's
pending
deal
motion,
with
let's
this.
deal with that, yeah.
Have you, as council, reviewed that?
Now, I think it's very important to note that I am not the town's attorney,
That's
I am-
so noted. Let the
I am-
record show.
not licensed to practice law in Vermont, and it would be
Do you want us to just shut the camera off?
absolutely, because it would be inappropriate for me to give legal advice.
Yeah.
Now, this seems vague to me, and indemnity provisions are always tricky, and to give you a very lawyerly response, I assume the town has insurance. You absolutely want to take any contract that has a provision where you indemnify somebody to your insurance carrier and say, what do you think of this?
Okay.
As general advice and not specific advice about this contract.
Good.
That's okay. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for non-legal advice.
And that's essentially the same contract we've signed
Yes,
in the past, right?
yes.
Have we ever sent that to the VLCs?
No, never.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Don't do
Maybe
that.
we'll learn
Do we have
something.
time?
Do we have a deadline for that?
I think we would be fine. It's to begin with a new fiscal year, but if we're a week late or something, then I think we'd still be okay.
Mhm.
So we have a motion to approve this in a second. Do we want to vote that down or just table this for until our
Further
next
research.
We could
meeting?
just withdraw the
I was
motion.
gonna say
too.
withdraw the
Okay,
motion.
all right,
Yeah,
all right.
you made the motion.
Okay, so I withdraw the motion to approve the contract with Windham County Humane Society.
All right, I'll send this to the LCT and just ask them to give us their opinion.
Good, thank you.
Okay. And with that, we could,
Mhm.
We need to move to recess the select board meeting
Mhm.
Yes.
and convene the public hearing.
I'll second that.
okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So, I'll call the public hearing to order and read into the record. The town of Dummerston by and through its select board and pursuant to 24 VSA section 1007 -A-2 adopts the state of Vermont speed limits on State Highway Route 5 and State Highway Route 30 listed within Vermont statutes annotated Title 23 as the local speed limits within the town of Dummerston. And Article 9, effective date, this ordinance shall become effective 60 days after its adoption by the Town of Dummerston Select Board. If a petition is filed under 24 VSA, Chapter 1973, that statute shall govern the taking effect of this ordinance. So, is there any public comment on this?
I guess we could just note that this ordinance was actually approved several years ago into the minutes. We have it officially that we already had this ordinance. We're just updating the ordinance with a current date. So we have a copy of the verbiage itself, vice just the minutes. Is that correct?
And official documentation, yeah.
Yes, we're missing the official documentation from 2003. So this will just give us an official.
So it's really an administrative correction. We're just
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So if there are no public comments, I'll close this public hearing. And if there's a motion to reconvene our select board,
I'll move to reconvene the select board meeting.
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So we have,
Do you want to sign this?
oh, we have to approve it.
Oh, right.
Oh, you didn't
Had a
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, we have this proposed ordinance up for adoption. What would you like to do?
I'll move that we adopt the state speed limit ordinance as presented at public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, you want a date?
Yeah.
Sign that?
Can you email me a copy of that?
Yes.
I didn't get all the wording.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Just on a note, who's gonna follow up to get this into our ordinance book? Because we have both the Wickby Hill speed ordinance and this one. We now just need to, one is gonna be like, J, and the other one's gonna be whatever letters are.
And they also end up on our website too. There's a whole section of ordinances on our website.
Yeah,
So it needs to be put on the
I
website as
will-
well.
Bring this back in tomorrow and
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Cool.
So is there any other business that,
Did you decide on the meeting for the week of the 4th?
Oh, we're waiting for you.
We, actually, what we did, Hugh, was we authorized Zeke to sign any warrants
Okay.
that we will then, what's the word, the next week? Ratify the next week.
Okay.
And we're
the
gonna,
next meeting?
by email, right, at the next meeting, and then by email, we're gonna figure out, after Zeke talks to Lori, about a meeting to set the tax, to approve the tax rate.
Okay.
Lori's got to get some things ready, and so it could be Thursday afternoon, it could be Friday, and we'll do that by email. Is that correct, Zeke?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So I would say I could either Monday or Tuesday most of the day, but after that, I'll be
Okay.
gone.
all right. So
You're not here the rest, 4th,
Right.
5th, 6th?
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're here on Monday?
Monday and Tuesday it's about 3.
Okay. And the 9th? What's your?
What's the 9th? Monday the 9th.
After that 4th of July weekend.
Because it won't be ready until at least the 5th, we determined, right?
Oh, I will be here the 9th. We do in it.
Okay, all right, so we'll figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, great. Any other business?
No.
Okay,
I'd move that we adjourn the select board meeting.
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, camera off.
So this is Hugh.